Hello YouTube, it is Billy, and tonight I am flying solo. So not only am I the cook, I am also going to be the cameraman. So this may be a little interesting at times, but we'll do the best that we can. Again, my name is Billy, and welcome to my kitchen. Tonight we are going to do Chinese for one, and basically because our schedules are conflicting tonight and I am home alone, but I don't want to go out. I really like to cook, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do sweet and sour chicken with some steamed rice with some vegetables. You're going to start out by again, we're going to do sweet and sour chicken. So you're going to take one chicken breast and you're just going to cut it into like 4 small pieces. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to fry that. So we're going to go ahead and get our skillet heated up with the oil. You don't need very much, just enough to do the 4 pieces. You could do canola oil, vegetable oil, or you could even do peanut oil, just as long as you have just enough oil to fry the chicken. Over here we have 1 egg and just a small splash of milk. You don't need much. You're going to take your chicken breast and you're going to dredge it. You're going to roll it up in the flour. Okay, then you're going to dunk it in the egg wash. Okay, and then we're going to go back into the flour. And just till it's just nice and coated. If you're noticing the redness on my hands, it's because I work in healthcare, so I am constantly washing my hands all day long, so they get pretty beat up looking. Okay, last one. Okay, we're just gonna set those aside for a minute. Okay, now while we're waiting on the oil to heat up the rest of the way, we're gonna go ahead and do our rice. And that's gonna be really simple. Okay, you're gonna take 1 small saucepan that has a really good fitting lid. And you're going to take 1 cup of chicken broth. Okay. You're going to take 1 cup of chicken broth. And we're going to just pour that right in the saucepan. Okay, then you're going to take 1 cup of just minute rice. And regardless of how much rice you're going to be making, you're always going to use equal parts water, or I use chicken broth. Either way, equal amounts of liquid to rice, you know, when you're doing minute rice. This just makes it really quick and simple, you know, if you're just making a small amount. All right, you're gonna go over here to your broth and you're gonna go ahead and turn that on. And you can just turn that on high, because what you want, you just want a really good boil. Okay, and it looks like the oil is nice and hot. So we're gonna go ahead, just shake off the excess, and you're gonna just fry your chicken. Okay, once your chicken broth is coming to a rapid boil, you're going to take your 1 cup of rice and just dump that right in there, and you're just going to kind of slosh it around just so everything is coated. You're going to turn that off, remove it from the heat, and then put the lid on it. And then you're just going to let that sit about 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and turn our chicken breast. It doesn't take very long at all. Okay, now for our vegetables, since it's just me, I'm just going to use a small can of veg-all, but I'm gonna saute a little bit of shallot and some garlic. I'm gonna use about half of this clove of shallot, and then about 2 medium-sized garlic cloves, or 1 large one if you have that. Okay, I've got my shallot and my garlic minced up. I left the garlic a little bit more chunky just because I really like the garlic. Now we're going to take our little can of veg-all here, and we're just going to open that up and drain it. Okay, it looks like our chicken is just about done. We're going to go ahead and turn that. And that's perfect. And you're going to take your chicken up, and you're just going to lay it on a paper towel and set it aside, because that will stay hot for quite a while. we're gonna go ahead and set that skillet aside. And I have another pretty large skillet with about 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're gonna let that melt down. Okay, once your butter is melted, you're gonna go ahead and toss in your garlic and your shallots. So I'm gonna move that a little closer. Make sure the skillet is coated really good. I don't want anything to stick. Okay, once your butter is nice and hot, you're just going to take your garlic and your shallots, and you're just going to get those right in there. Give that a little stir. Okay. And we're also going to go ahead and add our can of veg oil. Then you're also going to take 1 egg and just dump it in. And you're just going to basically scramble the egg. Okay, so you're just going to basically just scramble the egg. You're going to just kind of cook all that together and scramble the egg. It's really easy. And you kind of want the egg to, kind of coat everything. And you're just going to heat this up until the egg is thoroughly cooked. You don't want to eat it raw. Okay, once that's done, we're going to come over here to our rice, and that should be done. And we're just going to taste that just to make sure it's tender. And that's perfect. Alright, you're going to take your rice and dump that in the skillet with your vegetables. Okay, now that we've got the chicken and our rice done, I'm going to show you how I make the sweet and sour sauce. And that is really simple. If you can make gravy, you can make sweet and sour sauce. You just need a few things. You need some 3/4 cups of sugar, 1/3 cup of vinegar, 2/3 cup of water, 1/4 cup of soy sauce, and I like to use low sodium soy sauce, but that's up to you. About a tablespoon of ketchup and about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the sugar, and you're going to just put everything in this small saucepan except for the 2/3 cup of water and the cornstarch. You want to mix the cornstarch and the water separately. That's very important. we're gonna put our sugar right in there in the skillet, or sorry, saucepan. All right, then you're gonna add 1/3 cup of vinegar. And you could use rice wine vinegar, or I'm actually using white wine vinegar just because I'm out of regular vinegar. But it's fine. You're going to go ahead and dump the vinegar right in on the sugar. And then you're going to do 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Just dump that in. Okay, and then you need just about 2 tablespoons of ketchup. And I'm just going to eyeball that. Okay, and you're just going to use a whisk and stir that up. You want to go ahead and stir this now and get it as smooth as possible. My soy sauce is a little bit darker, but if you like the classic really red sweet sauce, that's a really simple fix. You just get some red food coloring and just put a lot in there and it turns it really red. It tastes the same. Okay, so now you're going to come over here to your bowl of water. But first, we're going to get this on the stove, and you're going to turn that on high, or pretty high. Okay, and let that start heating up. Okay, and then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Okay, and then you're just going to stir that up really well. You want that to be you want the cornstarch to be completely dissolved. Otherwise, you're going to have chunky bits. All right, it doesn't really taste any different, but it looks a whole lot different. But okay, and that's good. You want it completely dissolved. Okay, and then we're going to come over here. And this takes a little while, maybe, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes. It's just like making gravy though. You're gonna get your sauce really hot, bring it to a boil, and then you're gonna dump your cornstarch and water in there, and then you're just gonna mix like crazy until it thickens up. Okay, once you dump your cornstarch water in, you're just gonna stir, stir, stir like crazy, just like you're making gravy, and it will just thicken up right away. And then you're gonna, once it starts to thicken, you're gonna go ahead and turn the burner off, and then you're just gonna keep stirring and making sure everything is smooth. Okay, and you're gonna let that cool for a few minutes before you serve it, because that is extremely hot. Okay, and there is our Chinese for one. When you make your plate, just put a couple of scoops of rice, and then you're gonna put your chicken on, and then just kind of drizzle the sauce over the top of the chicken, or just all over, however much you like. And that's it. Chinese for one.